everyone, it's Jen. Today I'm going to take you through a review of the tool Scratch. And Scratch is a programming tool developed by students at MIT with the hope that younger learners would be able to create interactive stories and animations without requiring such a sophisticated knowledge of computer programming. Basically, it's computer programming made simple. It's free to download, and it was created for students of all ages in mind. There are even video testimonials of kindergarten students having success with this program, so developers definitely thought that everyone would be able to access this. Here you'll see two screenshots. The first is of the site itself, which is located at scratch.mit.edu, and the second is of the actual interface where all of the creation and the writing of the script takes place. But first we'll check out the site. And here's the main page that you would go to either sign up for an account or download Scratch directly to your computer. And once you do so, it opens up an interface that looks like this. And on the far left, you'll see all the different areas and options for commands. There are 8 different categories of commands. In the middle is where you'll actually take place writing the script. And on the far right is a window or a screen that you can view what you've done. So in order to create, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to delete the cat sprite or character from my screen. And I can do this 2 ways. First, I could either right-click on it and go down to delete, or I could go up to my shortcut bar up here and choose the scissors and click on the cat. So now to change the background, what I'm going to do, because this white is a little boring, I'll go to the middle section and select backgrounds and then edit. And I'm not a great artist, so I'm not going to attempt to draw one myself, but I can import one either from my computer or a preloaded set, so that's what I'll do. I'll go to the outdoors and I'm going to go to the boardwalk. And I'm happy with this, so I'll select OK. Now I'd like to add a sprite or a character to my screen, and I can either create one myself or choose one from a file. So I'm going to choose one from a file, and I'll go into People, and I think I'd like to see if I could find maybe a boy waving. Here's one here. So I'll select him and I'll put him on my boardwalk. Now I think I'd like to have him interacting with someone maybe running by in the other direction, so I'll see if I can find a preloaded character that's doing that. So I'll scroll down through my characters, and here's a girl running here, so I'll select her. Now she's facing the opposite direction, so what I can do to correct this is I can double click on her. I know she's selected because I see the picture up here. Click on Costumes, and check off Edit. Now I can make her grow or shrink or rotate her, but right now I'm just going to flip her so she's facing the other direction, and I'll click OK. Now she does look a little big, so I'll go up here. I don't have to go back into the edit. I can choose my shortcut keys to either grow or shrink a sprite, so I'll just shrink her down a few spaces. And now I'm ready to start my animation. So I'll start with my boy, and I'll come over here to the middle and make sure that Scripts is checked off, and I'll hit Control. Before I start any sprite, I want to go into the Control panel and choose the When Green Flag Clicked, because that'll tell me exactly what I'm going to do, and when my animation will start. I think I'd like her to say hello, so I'll go over to Looks and drag the Say Hello for 2 seconds tab up here. Now I'm ready to start with my girl. So I'll double click on her, go back to Control, and choose the When Green Flag Clicked. And I'd like her to be running by as he says hello, so I'm going to select this Glide tool and go up here. Now it told me that he was going to say hello for 2 seconds, so I'm going to make her glide for 2 seconds. And this is where the coordinate knowledge comes into place. I want her to glide somewhere around here, so I need her to move to the left with an x value of -135. You can see as I move my cursor around, these numbers down here will change based on the x and y value. So my x value was -135, and my y value was going to be -58. After she goes closer to him, I'd like her to say hello, so I'm going to have her come over and say hello. Now if I would like, I could add a sound. I could either record my own or import it, but for today I'm just going to allow my characters to use speech bubbles. So now I'll select my boy. And I'd like him to say goodbye, but I don't want him to be talking over her, so I'll go up to Control, and I'll choose this Wait block. And she's going to say hello for 2 seconds, so I'll have him wait for 2 seconds. Then I'll go back to Look, and choose my dialogue block. And so that he's not saying hello again, I just simply highlight the word and type in what I'd like him to say. To finish off my girl sprite, I think I'd like her to continue running by him as he says goodbye. So I'll have her glide, change it to 2 seconds, because that's how long it will take him to say goodbye. and move her to the left to an x value of negative 230. And I'll keep her at the same y value of negative 58. So if I make it full screen, I can preview it. And as you can see, each of them has their own turn to do something. And there's obviously a ton of different options we could do. I could have added sound to this, I could have added much more of a sophisticated animation, but these are all tools that as I get more familiar with the technology and as your learners get more familiar with it, they can continue to add in on their own. So, why use Scratch? Scratch educates learners the way they're engaged, and that's a big thing that the Educating the Mobile Generation video talked about, was we need to be able to reach our learners, and this is definitely a way that I believe teachers can do that. It's also a composition medium, which the Changing World of Literacy video talked a lot about. We need to look not just for instructional tools, but also for tools where students can show what they know and create a presentation. And this allows them to do that in a nonlinear fashion. I started with a background and moved up. They could start with a conversation they have in mind or an idea for a character and move backwards. It doesn't have to be in a preset order. And going along with that, something that the Hansfield article talked a lot about was allowing students options for their creativity and their individual unique voice to shine. And this definitely allows them to do that. Because there are so many options, it can easily be differentiated to show different students' strengths and to highlight their unique interests. So I think that this is something that would be really great for that. Also, they can collaborate with others by viewing other projects or allowing to see feedback on their own. So it allows them to create a project that they're excited about and ready to share with a larger audience. Some strengths of the program is that there's lots of help available. There's both video and scripted tutorials that you can learn or check out as a new user or as someone who's a little more skilled and just wants some more knowledge. It gives you options to work independently or collaboratively. Right now, Scratch is running a promotion where they are encouraging people to work together in a group and are having a contest to see which is the best collaborative project, which I think is a pretty cool initiative. It can be used across all subject areas. It was intended for math with that coordinate graphing, computer programming knowledge in mind, but it can easily be used with a novel that you're doing in English class or a history example. I can definitely see how this could be used across all subjects. And there's also a second resources for teachers pages. You can see over here a little screenshot of it, and I'll pull up the Scratch education site where teachers can talk to other individuals that are in the area. They can learn about different resources, so they're not so isolated with their use of this tool on their own. A few limitations. It must be downloaded, which might be an issue depending on your school district's regulations on downloading software. Others' posts might not be appropriate. They can be flagged if you feel that they're inappropriate, and the Scratch team does review them daily, but they may not be in the process of taking them down when your user gets to it on the page. The options may be overwhelming. As you can see over here, I have a screenshot of a very complex script, and that might be overwhelming to some students. And similarly, the math concepts might be lost on some. For example, the glide feature that I showed might be lost on someone that doesn't have that coordinate graphing knowledge, so that's something to keep in mind when deciding whether or not you could use this tool. While I think that depending on what you're using Scratch for, it could address all of the standards, I think across the board it hits standards 1, 2, 5, and 6. It definitely shows off creativity. It's definitely a great communication and collaboration tool. It encourages students to create a product that they're proud to show to a larger audience, so it encourages digital citizenship, and it definitely addresses a new technology operation and concept that they might not be familiar with, so that's important. Overall, I would definitely recommend this. I think it's a very motivating and engaging tool. There are a lot of options, so that leads to a lot of flexibility for learners. I don't necessarily know that I would use it as young as kindergarten, 1st or 2nd grade, but maybe 3rd graders and up would be able to use it with some guidance from the teacher, of course, and definitely as you get older you would be able to add more and more. And I think that this is a great way to address a difficult topic in a relevant and engaging way, and I definitely can see myself using it in the classroom. So overall, I gave Scratch 4.5 out of 5 stars. So I hope that this is something that you see that yourself using in the classroom. I know I definitely do, and I hope that this presentation has been very informative for you. Thanks for watching.